Refresh. All right, hey, what's going on? All right, it is the Division E podcast here, calling the Audible, live from the armpit of Montreal, St. Leonard, Quebec, as we are in the, I guess, man cave. Is that what it is, Chapman? The man cave?
Yeah, we can call it a man cave.
Man cave.
If only people saw what it actually looked like.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I wore green today. Oh, week 10.
I'm trying to look at your logo. I can't see it.
Yeah, week 10, we're going to wear green. Anyway, it is the Div E podcast. It is week 7 complete, week 8 upon us. As always, the one who's here, and I'm not here because I'm replacing PZ Del Rizzi, who has a paper cut on his toe. The man who is here, of course, is Brent Botkin. Brent, good evening to you. We have some issues with the tech side of things here, so we're a bit handcuffed with the information at our
Disposal.
fingertips. Yeah.
It's all good. Keep on marching through.
I'm just pressing refresh. Maybe it'll come up. It's not coming up.
For those of you who don't know, the website is currently not working.
Yeah, so we're obsolete. We don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know who are these Div E teams still playing here? What's going on? I know. We'll talk about the week that was in Division E. I saw a game which Dirty Mike's played against Yamaha, which is the what is that? The Austrian Water? Is that the derivative of Yamaha again?
I think so. I'll look it up.
Thank you. And we'll talk what Brent saw as well. Then we'll get you geared up for the playoff rankings and who's in, who's out. And with 3 games to go, there's not much racetrack to left here for those bubble teams that could very well punch their tickets for the late July into early August road show. All right, Brent, let's start with you. What caught your attention from this past week's action in Week 7?
I got to say, the pension plan, I had a chance to play them Sunday at Stade Montreal with my team, obviously, the Striking Samurais.
Losing again, I see.
Yeah, pretty much losing again. Losing again, hurting my
New York
hamstring.
Knicks,
Good times.
Samurais, similar parallels.
It's okay. Mo is just still a little bit mad for his team, the Bulls, trading Jimmy Butler for 25
We went to the
cents on the dollar.
We went to the playoffs.
You won't be going to the playoffs this year, I'll tell you that.
It's a reload.
Jimmy Butler for unproven.
So anyway, you guys lost again, and elaborate.
ACL injury. Yeah, so anyways, the pension plan, I mean, we came into the game, we thought we had a good chance of winning. We did some nice things. We moved the ball a bit, but we couldn't get any stops. Anthony Sajia and that offense, they were able to move the ball up and down the field. I was impressed for a team whose record doesn't say that they're one of the stronger teams in Division E. They were able to get some stops on D, and again, like I said, move the ball on off. Pretty good. I think they're a team who looks better than what their record indicates.
Well, Vince Pisano, Anthony Seja, Junior Sparrow, they have a lot of guys who play in the higher divisions, Division 4 Winter or 4B Winter, that is. And I know they've had their ups and downs, especially early on in the season where they didn't have the quarterback position solved up until I think week 3, week 4, and then they changed that, and they finally get the guy in place. And look, it's every win counts, and especially now where you're trying to lock yourself up into a playoff spot. It's a huge win for the pension planners moving forward. And the question that comes up now, Brent, do you believe, and we'll talk more about it in the playoff outlook here, but do you believe that they're now one step closer towards that playoff spot being in their hands?
I think they're one step closer, obviously, because as you say, every win matters. 2 points are key. But I don't want to jump ahead too far. But, I mean, if you do look at their schedule coming up, I mean, they have Face Jazz this Sunday, and then they have the Super Troopers after that, and then a tough game against a Sons of Mitch's team who is hot and cold pretty much the entire season. So if you're the pension planner, you're going to have to win at least 2 of those games, I think, to make the second season, if you will. So it'll be tough, but I definitely think they have the skill and the talent to do so.
I think they have the skill and talent. It's a matter of finishing off games. I think their DNA has proven to be a team that has sort of I don't want to use the term choke. That's very harsh, but I'll use it anyway. Choke some key games. And I think those guys have to overcome that mental hurdle and finally close out and win a game of importance, which could very well be these next 2 of 3 games coming up in the next few weeks.
Well, that's exactly it. But, I mean, as you mentioned, Mo, right, a few seconds ago, they have a team with some veteran experience, guys who have played in FPF and know what the playoffs are all about from playing in higher divisions. So it's a matter of them finally putting that all together and having their best effort of the season, which I think they did have against us last week, and building off of that and building some momentum into the playoff drive.
A game that I saw was Dirty Mike and the boys choking that game against Yamaha. Did we get the...
I couldn't find the body of water named after
Nowhere in the Austrian area.
No, I mean I'll check out the map, but I didn't see nothing.
What's the definition of Yamaho though? Is there any?
No, there's not like anything that's like really specific to it. It's kind of weird. I don't know where they came up with this name.
Why don't you call Terrence Dobson 514 and find the rest of the number for me, please? Thank
I was gonna say he actually wants to do this.
Okay, well, look, this game was okay. This game could have been a blowout. Should have been a blowout. It wasn't a blowout. It was closer than expected. The Yamaha roster jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Could have been 19, which it was. It was 19-6. They were up by, I think, 12 at half. They were up by 19 after early part of the second half. And I think Dirty Mike and the boys left it too little too late, ran out of racetrack. They made the comeback, but they were down 7. They had 4 cracks at it inside the 5, couldn't score. And I think that was it for them. And then obviously Dobson come back and scored. In fact, his first 3 completions were touchdown passes. And then he had 6 incompletions in a row. And then he ended up having 4 of his first, I think, 9 going for touchdowns, completion-wise. And he played well. And from where he was now to where he was when I last score captain, I think it was a few weeks ago, a big jump. But again, it's the fact that his team matched up well, physically speaking here. They have range, they have speed, they have size, and they got physical. They got physical with Gallant. They got physical with Allard. Allard didn't really get going early in that game, Brent, and I thought that's what cost them the most is that he didn't get in rhythm, and they fell way too deep into the hole and couldn't catch up.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, I think talking to Jordan Allard last night, he said himself, they came out a bit flat in that game. They were missing Tyler Doucette, which is for them is big, and he mentioned also the fact that some turnovers kind of killed him, being Dirty Mike and the boys. And I think it's the fact that in 2 of the last 3 games, I mean, losing to the Farmers as well, going back to that game, Jordan told me that they took the Farmers lately. So I think it's a fact of them not taking the competition seriously, which has led to 2 of the losses so far in the season, losing 2 of the last 3 games. And it's a slow start. It's the being sloppy, not being mentally prepared. Is really has set them back.
I think it's been arrogance too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Not taking their teams, their opponents seriously. And of the 2 losses this season, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, Mo, against the Farmers and against Yamajo, thinking they're just gonna walk in there, show up, and get the W. And as you see, no matter what division you're in, you can't do that.
No, you can't. And I think it's a lesson, hopefully well learned, because with 3 games to go. I mean, on paper, you would say Dirty Mike and the boys have perhaps one of the better odds to maybe go deep in the playoffs. Yeah. And I think a loss like this really, not to say derails their hopes, but it really puts that doubt in your mind to say, well, maybe they're not that great as we thought they should be. And losing, a close one, but really a blowout, really nowhere near what they thought they should have been at that point. Any games that caught your attention from this past week?
Another one is the Greendale Human Beings, obviously mad after losing, being knocked out by Los Avocados the week before. They came out and did a smash the Smoking Ocelots, 39-18.
I'm surprised by that.
You know what? I'm surprised as well. And I know my article. I picked the Smoking A's.
Surprise!
Team
surprise!
to get the upset.
You know what we should do now? We should do Chapman versus Brent picks. Pick for pick here. Who has a better record for the next 3 weeks here?
Hey, my friend. I'm still over 500, and I'm beating Marc Andre in our head-to-head picks battle.
I think Chapman wipes the floor with you.
I think you're wrong, as always. About most things, about your choice for basketball teams, for hockey teams, for baseball teams. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with Mo and I, we've had this rivalry going back. We've been friends now for what?
Hold on. I'm not your friend. You're my friend.
They have a great rapport.
You've known me for about 15, 16 years.
I signed an autograph for you. When I signed the autograph for you, you're like, oh, my God.
Going back to our junior football days where I started and Mo came off the bench as a receiver, cheering me on as I got 2 sacks in the championship game, so I have the championship ring.
Go look it up for me, please.
but me and Mo,
2003.
We go back and forth. Yeah, 2003, we'll go back to that, my friend.
Go back to that. 2003.
I think I had more sacks than he had receptions as a wide receiver.
2003 Madison Cup final.
2 sacks in the championship game, my friend. I injured the starting quarterback. You cheered me on from the bench. I appreciate it, my friend. You waving that rally flag.
Whatever. No one wants your History Channel stuff here. But back to the Smoking Ocelots.
Yeah, anyways, I'm just surprised because I figured, you know what, for them it would be a statement game, obviously knocking off the team who I call the class of the division in the Greendale Human Beings. And I don't want to say it's a no-show, but the Smoking A's, but yeah, it's kind of a no-show. I mean, they came off a big victory the week before over part of my swag, and I thought they would carry that momentum. And the Greendale Human Beings, obviously, again, they're the best team in the division. I thought it'd be close. I thought it'd be one of those things where it will come down to maybe the last possession or so, or maybe a conversion, if you will, to decide who's going to come out on top, and Greendale they just had their way, and I'm extremely surprised as you are.
I am, but I watched Greendale play, I believe, 2 weeks ago, and they look in rhythm. Alward is playing very well at quarterback. Yeah. They just have a team that's loaded with talent. I believe Joel DePaul's on the team as well.
No, he's not.
Oh, sorry, no, my apologies. I
not,
mixed up. Yeah, but Alward's the guy that I think that has taken that next step in his quarterback progression. And whatever they do next year at GHB, whether they will play 5A or 5B, I don't know what their plans are.
They're at least a Division 4B team, I think.
Even higher. So if they go up to 4B, I think he can definitely be competitive. And they go as far as he will bring them. And if he plays like he has this year, and even going from winter season to this spring season, they got a good chance. They got a good chance to make a run. Mm-hmm. And perhaps if you were to put down some money, they could be your horse that can win this whole trophy.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of could. I mean, they've been my pick since the beginning of the season to
supposedly it was your pick
to win that division. No, they've been my pick. You go back and read the article.
Can we go back and confirm that for us, please?
I can't find this anywhere.
Exactly. No one knows.
And Mo knows this. Mo knows we can't go online right now to find anything else. Anyways, the loyal readers out there, the guys who have been following me since day one, they know that's been my pick to win Division E this year. And again, they got knocked off last week. They were mad. They came on. They were pissed off, and they showed it against Smoking A's.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Smoking A's. You got your ass kicked by GHP. Any other games that caught your attention?
I gotta say the TBA and Super Troopers game that one came down to the wire. Had a chance, obviously, with Zachary Alberts-Gill being on my team. I had a chance to ask him about that game last night heading into our Div C game, and he just said his team kind of fell apart at the end, a couple bad interceptions, and Gabriel Wiseman's reliance on Zach Swerm. He said TBA did a good job of shutting down Zach, obviously dynamic receiver and DB. They had basically what he said was Wiseman just kept on trying to go back to him over and over and over, and TBA was playing tight coverage. Sometimes they're even double teaming him, having the corner playing up on him man and having the safety shading over the top. And he said with Super Troopers not being able to take advantage of the quarterback position in particular, not taking advantage of some of the open receivers and single coverage that some of the other guys were facing. And when it came down to having to score a touchdown at the end, they just weren't able to do it.
I've seen TBA play. I've had my run with them, these guys, because they had no uniforms for like 18 weeks, and we're into week 8. They had talent, though. They got the kid from UT, right? Sakara, who's playing for them.
Sakara,
yeah. Yeah, and they just need to figure out how to be much more of a higher football IQ for the FPF game. If they can get that achieved, then I think they can be a definite contender, provided what they do for next year. But I think now, for the present moment, if Sakara does well enough in the quarterback role, and if he can run the ball, I think they have a good chance to make some noise as well in the playoffs as we move toward the last 3 weeks of the season, if they qualify.
I mean, let's be honest, it's called spade to spade. I think they will qualify for the playoffs. TBA, I mean, they've been dominant. The only time they look bad this season is when they got hammered by GHB a few weeks ago. Other than that, I mean, they've proven this is the type of game where they've proven they can win with their backs against the wall. They can make a stop when they need to. They can win when the game's on the line. Because we saw earlier in the season, they were just blowing out teams.
Yeah.
Clay Sakara looked like he was definitely in the conversation for quarterback of the year, and he still is. He was just airing it out against teams. But we see a veteran club in the Super Troopers who have a top-level, higher echelon defense that forces you to have to kind of make plays when your backs are against the wall. And as I just said, TBA was able to do that now. So I think that bodes well going forward, at least in the rest of the regular season heading into the playoffs.
All right, let's talk about the playoff race. With 3 games to go, teams are trying to punch their ticket for the tournament in late July into early August. Of course, August 7th being the roadshow final. Chapman, due to our inability to have the website up,
luckily, I actually had this page loaded up before.
Good man. Good
Congratulations.
Difficulties. So we're going to start off with Conference A, and I guess I'll list all the teams from, top to bottom. And there's a lot of teams.
There's like 85 million per.
Yeah, in first place.
So let's start this up now.
We have Lost Avocados sitting at 6-1. Dirty Mike and the boys are in second at 5-2. The Spartans are 4-3. These are all the divisional leaders.
Now, but before we jump in, I just want to make a quick point here. Avocados, I'm not buying right now. Spartans underachieving. Dirty Mikes need to refocus. Carry on.
All right. And in fourth place, we have the Greendale Human Beings at 6-1.
I like them.
You like them?
I like them.
And now, from
like
5 to 10, everyone has 4 wins.
Oh,
So
boy.
we have the Homo Sapiens, who have a
Yeah.
tie, and that's why they're in 5th. Just for the reps, West the Lil Squad, Farmers, Little Giants, and Yamajo Station. And then afterwards, at 11 and 12, we have Sons of Mitches at 3 and 4, Striking Samurais at 2 and 6. And now these are the guys who are on the outside
Well, hold
looking
on.
in.
You don't have to go further than Striking Samurais. They're all eliminated. For Striking Samurais and below, they're all done.
They're all done.
they're not
Oh,
going
wow.
Easy.
They're not going to the playoffs.
Easy.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
Stranger things have
hold on here. The remaining teams have 1 win.
2. The Striking Samurais have 2. Le
Yeah.
Choix du Président have 2. Rakens have 2. And then Here for the Beer have 1 win. So I guess
Okay,
maybe
they're done.
they're probably
They're done.
probably done. So.
Put them in the trash can. So we got 2 wins. How many teams make it for a Divi? Just to clarify for
12.
12 make it, right?
Yeah. And the last team that's holding on to the last spot right now is the Striking Samurais.
There you go, my friend. And we're playing Le Choix du Président this week. So, I mean, that's going to be a huge game.
LCP's going to win
Playoff
that game.
implications. See,
All right,
again,
let's get your thoughts here.
Mo's used to cheering on losers, so I mean, he's used to.
Let's
know,
get your thoughts.
being
Let's get your
eliminated.
thoughts here. We'll go
Okay,
bond to top.
obviously, okay, GHB.
Yes.
6-1. We already talked in detail about how I think they're the class of the division. So, moving on, they're making the playoffs. They should at least, in my opinion, make the championship game. The Spartans, the team who I played earlier this season. I mean, with James Dandre, he's a great guy, and their team does have a lot of speed and experience. But again, as I said on this podcast and throughout my articles, going back to even last season and the season before that,
Great guys don't win
when
championships.
the-
Assholes win championships.
Oh, you're a classy guy.
I'm just
They're-
letting you guys know.
They're a team that, you know, regular season they look like a beast, and you know, even this year actually falling off at 4-3 with the Alex Bissett injury, they're not even as dominant as they usually are in the regular season. So playoff time, I don't expect too much out of them. They should get past the first round, but even that, could
That's
be a
lucky.
stretch.
That for them will be a success. That would be their title right there. If they got past the first round, that's their championship game. But I think they're the most vulnerable team right now in the 3-hole.
Are they the Dallas Cowboys of Division E? Is that what you're saying? The one and done crew, or
No, they're like the Falcons.
really?
They're like the Falcons.
Falcons kind of just made a Super Bowl.
Okay, here we go again. As I explained to Simon Dashman,
All right, here we go.
what happened? They choked that game away, right?
They choked it away, but
Exactly.
I mean, they
But
managed to get to the
in
Super
theory,
Bowl.
yeah, they get the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter what they do, right?
So they're like the Oakland Raiders, and
No, it doesn't matter. They have gone to the playoffs how many times?
Uh-huh.
And for the Spartans'
Yearly.
case, they are a team that loves to throw the deep ball nonstop. It
Yeah.
could be like 4th and 85 and then throwing the deep ball. Like,
Before a better comparison be 4th and 1 and throwing a deep ball, but okay, continue on.
the point is that they're throwing the deep ball, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to play for the field position.
It's great
and-
analysis right there.
But the thing is, I don't buy them to make a deep run in the playoffs. And
I don't buy them either. I'm just saying.
And those other top 2 teams, as you made the point before, Chapman, they're shaky. Those 3 teams are shaky right now. They're all shaky. Los Avocados.
So-
Look at Los Avocados' stats this year.
Okay.
Tom Zorko's their guy,
And
right?
okay, I hear you on that. 100%. I hear you. I
Who else?
played with Josh Vasquez, and I played with Tom Zirkos, Sam Demore actually.
Name me the entire team.
Samuel Demore is actually an underrated player. They're 6-1, but you know what? I would honestly jump on the bandwagon with you and say, you know what? I think they're shaky. They can't do it. And as Chapman has called them even on last year's podcast, Los Avocados.
Permanent team name. Permanent.
Yeah, it has to be.
Thank
It
you,
has to be.
Chapman.
Just like the Rackons instead of the Raccoons. But Los Avocados, they've been the only team that's beaten GHB going back to week 6 of the winter season. That has to stand for something, no?
Outlier.
Really?
Thanks, Chapman.
I'm
don't
just-
know.
I'm just here to-
I've been one to crap on that team a lot, Los Avocados, but you can't argue with the record. You can't argue with who they've beaten. GHB is the team that stands out.
I
as
just
the team they've
wonder
beaten.
in the playoffs
Mm-hmm.
when Tom Zorko's double team, who's going to be the go-to guy? I score kept 2 of their games.
Yeah,
And
I hear you.
It's Tom Zorko, and I can't name anyone else. I can't because their
There's Sammy
team.
Demore. I know what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
They're
Tom
nuts.
Zorko is the number 1 guy, without a doubt. I'm
It's
just
like
saying.
Russell Westbrook and everyone else on that team.
It's true.
They're the OKC Thunder of Division E.
Cantners and Andre Robertson's. Okay, fine. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'm just saying, in terms of what the record is now and who they've beaten, they may not be the one and done team that you're anticipating. I'm just saying, possibly. Dirty Mike and the boys, on the other hand, with the great defense, they just need to show up to games and take teams seriously is what they need
Well,
to
they
do.
need to get off of better starts. That's what
Fine. Get better starts and take teams seriously. And I know I'm going to hear from Jordan when I see him this coming weekend. But it is what it is. They lost to two teams they have no business losing to.
He's got to stop wearing 2 gloves. Well, what the hell is that? You're not Kurt Warner, dude. He's not. He's wearing 2 gloves, man. Like, dude, just wear your hand. Throw with your hand, man. Natural, bro.
It's true.
Yeah, I really believe his throws are not as powerful with the glove on.
That makes sense.
I'm telling you, like, this feels like he throws them, but it could be with a lot more ferocity if he was throwing without the glove.
I think being someone that's throwing the ball a bit with small hands, for me, I throw with the glove because it helps me grip the ball better, which then ideally helps me throw the ball farther. A guy like Jordan, though, who has big hands, I've seen him. He's a receiver on my team. He can catch pretty much anything and throwing the ball. It would, I think, be better for him to throw the ball without the glove. But, I mean, if that's his preference and that's what he's comfortable with, that's what he's going to do, right?
Please repeat the middle pack of playoff teams right now.
So you want from like 4 all the way down?
Yes,
Homo
please.
sapiens just for the reps, West the Little Squad.
You're doing a good job, Brent. Do you have it in front of you? Or do you have it written
I
down? Look
wrote
at
it
this
down,
guy.
my friend. I'm journalist. I wrote it
Yeah,
down.
and then we
There
got
you go.
Farmers, Little Giants,
you.
Yamajo, Sons of Mitches, and
I think West the Little Squad have to get their attitude in check. If they, I know they had the little tate-tate with Hot Boys Hotline. Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it?
Yeah.
If-
Yeah.
They have to
7-6.
yeah, they got to get their attitude in check. They're a good team, but you have to, like, I think 3 of their guys got OCs in that game.
But that's yeah.
You can't
Ego was
take
telling me they basically the referees. They got 3 OCs and they pretty much gave the game to their opponents. I mean, you can't get into arguments with the refs and arguments with other players. It's gonna
All
cost
they
you.
need, whoever they play in the first round, all they need to do is just whisper something, and it will set them off like a wildfire.
They're the no name in Division E, pretty much is what you're saying.
Well, no name has had playoff success, so it's called for what it is. But I think out of those teams that Chapman has listed, I think WDS is probably the most vulnerable going into the playoffs if they hold on to a playoff position going into the last 3 weeks of the season.
I'm going to argue with you on that one. I think the Farmers are the most vulnerable just because of the player, the quarterback, Benoit Robideau. He has games where he looks like Kurt Warner, and then he has games, Mo, you'll be familiar with this, where he looks like he's Matt Leinart. And it's just...
I'm not, because he's a Cardinal who threw
Well,
for...
he did play for the Raiders for a time, and, you guys decided to roll with him. Anyways, instead of 12 prior quarterback. But anyways, it depends on which Robideau shows up. If you get the good Robideau who can make some throws and win some games, they're looking all right. But then if you get the one who looks hesitant in the pocket, rolls out to one side, chucks it across his body all the way over to the other side of the field, it's not going to work so well in the playoffs.
So right now, do you believe the current playoff holders will be in the same positions going into the playoffs? Like, do you think anyone will be bounced out from the playoff picture from someone from the outside looking in?
Yeah, I think the Spartans could definitely be bounced.
But right now, do you think the Spartans won't make the playoffs then?
Okay, no, in terms of they're going to make the playoffs. Sorry, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. I think the division, everyone is in first place in their division right now will qualify.
Yeah, that's
for the
that's
second
pretty
season.
obvious. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Well, then why ask the question?
I'm saying for the bubble teams, though. The middle pack of teams that might we're rolling the spot that could be on the outside looking in by week. Like,
Little Giants could definitely be knocked off. I haven't been that impressed by them, to be honest with you. They actually lost to the Homo sapiens. Yeah, Little Giants. That's, to be honest, I think that would be it. Because Yamajo, they've shown me now that they can win the game against a decent team, beating Dirty Mike and the boys. So, yeah, it's Little Giants.
any team from the outside that can jump in placement of the.
So that would be Chapman right now. You said because my team is Stricken Samurais. Who else is on the outside looking? Right
yeah,
now?
then you got Le Choix du Président, the Rakins, and Here for the Beer. Those are the bottom 4.
I really want to say the Rakins, but losing to Sons of Mitch's is kind of throwing a rock in that trail to the playoffs. You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to stick with the teams that are right now in the playoff hunt are going to be the teams who qualify for the playoffs.
We're in for an exciting finish for Conference A with the same teams making the playoffs. I see that.
It is what it is. It is what it is, to be honest.
Conference B, let's go.
Conference
through
B, all
There we
right.
go.
In first place somehow, Hot Boys Hotline at 6-1.
They're the most fraudulent team out there.
I
Tom
agree.
Gatehouse is probably the most overrated. He's not even, that doesn't even have a number. Like, he's not even a quarterback. Like, this guy, from the life of me, I don't know how he wins football games. He won a game 8-6
Yeah, I know. In all honesty, our defense is playing quite
That's
well.
not
They only
7-6,
allowed
7-6,
80
it was
points.
7-6.
Yeah, but last
It's
last one to
7-6,
beat
yeah.
Spartans 8-6.
Yeah.
Not because of Tom Gatehouse.
Hey, win's a win, my friend. A win's a win.
It's yeah.
Okay.
They're like allowing just a little bit above 11 points a game.
All right, hold
so
on
I
here.
mean, he doesn't really need to put up that many points.
I'm putting down some FPF flag football money on whoever plays the Hot Boys Hotlines to win that.
That's a lie. First of all, that happens. Mo will never pay that money, so we all know.
Because it's
that.
not my money. It's the league's
It's on
money.
the house. That's why.
That's the league's money. That's why. All right, number 2.
Number 2, we got TBA also at 6-1.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we have the pension plan at 4-3, and then afterwards we have Moss City at 5-2 and 4th. 5th place is Pardon My Swag at 4-3. Smoking Axles in 6th. The Expendables in 7th, and
And they had a
Face
big
Jazz.
win, actually.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, a big win for them.
Face Jazz at in 8th place, also at 4-3. So those are all 4-3, and then afterwards they get to the 3-1 teams. We have Prime Time, One Speed Power, Super Troopers. And then on the outside looking in, but still having the playoff spot right now, is Friday Night Tykes with who are 1-6. DGC is 1-6. 4-20
That's like black licorice, man.
is 1-6,
awful.
and the Montreal Raiders are
Seriously.
0-7.
That's like black
Yeah.
licorice, man.
Yeah.
That tastes
Yeah,
awful.
that's
Like,
pretty
bad.
don't
That's
even bother with
pretty
those teams, okay?
That's like Mint Arrow. That's it doesn't
Yeah.
get pretty
But
much.
one of them-
Mint Arrow's
worse than
solid,
that.
man. That's
What?
solid. That's great chocolate bar.
Yeah, okay, I'd rather
Can
have
you
black
please-
licorice than Mint
Oh,
Arrow. You're
Google
crazy.
it, please, right now. Mint Arrow chocolate bar and the reviews, please. Thank you.
Hot garbage. I'll see
Yeah,
you time,
please.
Chapman, right there.
Please. Mint Arrow is fantastic. It's like sex.
Compared
All
to
right.
drink, yeah. Well, you know nothing about that, so I mean.
Well,
yeah.
you are a foreigner to that. my friend. You're like Division F with that. All right.
I already beat you to that.
Let's talk
Chunky
about
friend.
the
I already beat you
divisional
there.
teams here. So the leaders, as we said before, Chapman, are
the top.
Hot Boys Hotline.
Okay, All Boys Online,
Yeah.
TBA, and
Yeah.
the pension plan.
All right. Are we looking at these 3 teams holding serve as the top 3 going to the playoffs right now?
TBA, yeah. Hot Boys Hotline. You said it yourself. Took out a fraudulent. You got to average more than 11 points a game.
When Alex Dakla is one of your key defenders, you have problems.
hey,
Vadim Cherniak?
man. Hey, Nanigo. Jeez.
Vadim Cherniak, this is a team that was morbid last year. Now here they are.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think Hot Boys Hotline get knocked off. Pension Plan gets knocked off. Moss City, I think one of the most underrated teams. In
They
all
won
of
38-10,
Division
I
A.
think it was, or 38-13.
They
won big.
Beat Moss City.
They won
coming
big
off of a
on
win.
week 7.
Yeah, they beat Face Jazz. They mopped
Yeah.
the floor of Face Jazz. Yeah,
38-12.
38-12.
Yeah, there you go.
Moss City, you know what? I talked about in the article last week. Their quarterback Andrew Ferrier, he's impressive, man. He's impressive. He just had his 4th game, at the QB position, and he, as much as I talked about Clay Sakara earlier in the season, Avery Lala last season and this season, Andrew Ferrier, he looks like a Division C at the very least quarterback, standing in the pocket. He can make throws on the run. He has a strong arm. He's accurate. I'm really impressed, and I think as the season goes on, the more experience he gets, right now heading into the playoffs, I like their chances a lot.
Yes, Chapman.
Mint Arrows on
Horrible.
Amazon.
Horrible.
Reviews are 4.2 out of 5.
Thank you. Mic
What?
drop.
Yeah, man, I can't even believe they sell them on Amazon, to be honest with you. This is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure
Thank
Mo
you.
must have went on there earlier.
Oh, yeah,
Imagine
right-
all
right
42
now.
reviews are Mo.
Yeah, right now I just started just typing. Okay, 4.2. Make this one 4.8. 5. All right, so we have our top 3. Brent thinks pretty much safe. Well, I think Hot Boys all invulnerable. The next middle pack of wave of teams here.
So then I'll go from 4 to 8, I guess, at this point.
Yes.
So we got Moss City, Pardon My Swag, Smoking Axles, The Expendables, and Face Jazz.
I think that's you take away Expendables from the equation. That's probably a very tough middle pack of teams.
No, definitely. And by the way, actually, I agreed with you. I said Hot Boys,
You just follow my suit.
Vulnerable. No,
Follow
not
the
at all. I
leader
said
here.
TBA was pretty much the only team. You don't listen to what I'm saying. TBA is the only team I think is safe. Yeah, that middle of the pack. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'll call spade a spade right now. Smoking A's and Part of My Swag are better than Hot Boys Hotline. They're better than Pension Plan. You know what? They're arguably better than TBA as well, despite TBA's record. The Expendables, they have talent, but they're too inconsistent for me. I'm sorry, guys. It is what it is. Face Jazz, who got after me for picking against them week after week.
Pick against them this week.
They kind of crapped the bed.
Yeah.
I picked Moss City to beat them in Moss City.
Pick against
like
them
I
this
said,
week.
mopped the floor.
Pick against them this
with
week.
them. And now, they're facing the Pension Plan. You know what? I'm going to say it. I think the Pension Plan is going to knock off Face Jazz.
You know what's going to happen? If they win, they're going to come up to me. Yeah, hey, Mo, come
Yeah,
on,
we
man.
beat them guys. What are you talking about? Yeah. You know what, dude?
Are you DA's finest? No. Sorry, I don't know who the hell you are.
Wow. Okay. Moving on.
No, but so you got them in terms of pension planners though, and then now with Face Jazz, are they a team that's vulnerable to be on the outside looking in?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Look at some of the teams behind them. Super Troopers, I think, are actually a better team. Once Be Power, when Good Peace shows up, sorry, Chapman.
Or Unhurt Peas.
Yeah, or
Peace is
Unhurt
hurt,
Peace.
man.
Yeah, there you go. It
He's
is
not
what it
gonna
is. Prime Time. They're a team who I like a lot, man. They're a team, you know what? They lost a close one to Moss City 2 weeks ago, but then they came through. They just had a chance. They knocked off. It was in front of me. Primetime beat. Yeah. One speed power. 54-12. Yeah, it is a hurt piece, but 54 points is 54 points. They're fast. They're aggressive. They're extremely athletic. Primetime is a team who I think should not be taken lightly. They're in the middle of the pack now, but they could definitely climb their way to the top of the ladder as the season goes on.
All right, teams on the outside here.
Okay, so then I guess we'll go from 9 to 15 at this point. Well, not really. You want the outside, like from the bottom? That
Okay, tell me who the bottom Goobers are.
Went 4 to 8.
Who are the Guppies right now?
Who are the Guppies? We got DGC 420 and Montreal Raiders at 13.
No.
Okay, Montreal Raiders,
no,
unfortunately,
no.
it's their opening season. I hope they come back next year.
Yeah.
But they need to get a quarterback.
Yeah, there can be
Like can't be the guy.
Yeah, there can be a battle for the 12th spot essentially because Friday Night Tykes, who are actually in 12th right now, are 1-6 along with DGC and 420 Blizzard. So
Google Hardy Boys 2000, and
Oh,
that's
God,
what the
no.
uniform looks like for the Montreal Raiders. Okay. So
Sorry, man. It's not that bad.
Fourth
It's not
and
that bad.
20. Their biggest thorn is their attitudes and how they sort of discombobulate within each other, and they just implode and don't play well. If they are focused, they're pretty good. But I look at that bottom half of the non-playoff picture here. I don't know who, and Brent, you can answer this question better than I would. I don't know who is going to make the jump into the playoff race.
I want to say Friday Night Tykes is because I like their quarterback. I had a chance to play them. They were okay. They're another first-year team. It's tough, though, man. DGC, if you look on the roster, Corey Werner, Fode Evangelista, they should be a lot better than what they are. It's just their offense is horrible.
You put the I in horrible. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, their offense is horrible. Defensively, they can make some plays. They can get some stops. But when their defense is on the field as often as it is because of their offense, it's not going to work out. You mentioned as well that we have the Montreal Raiders. You know what? I actually do like their uniforms.
Did you see the picture of Hardy Boys 2000?
Oh
yeah,
God,
it's kind of ugly, but
yeah, I don't like it. But if Brent likes it, I mean,
you know what? I like Tevin Nichols. He's a good player. They have a couple other guys on their team, but as you said, Mo, they need a quarterback, guys. It is what it is. You can't complete 5 to 6 passes a game or have more interceptions than actual completions, and think you're going to compete. But again,
Or actual first downs.
Yeah, it's a first-year team. We've all seen first-year teams struggle and come back better. So, again, I hope you guys do come back next season. It's a little tough. Try to finish up with some pride and hopefully get a W.
maybe you would try out some different people at quarterback to try to find somebody else for you next season.
No, please, because that ruins the score sheets. And I have
team.
Oh yeah,
No,
actually,
I encourage you
to
guys
drive
to do that.
mode.
No,
I
that
encourage you guys to do
really-
that. Try 7 quarterbacks to win
It,
games.
it
if you
really
have to.
prolongs the score
Yeah,
sheet.
no,
though,
no, no,
bro.
One drive each,
7 or
guys.
8. 7 or 8 quarterbacks
Oh,
is fine.
God.
It's fantastic.
Where's the next game, please? Is it Papineau? Because if Papineau on Sunday, I'm good.
I can't check the
Right now,
website.
Montreal,
It's
I got it right here. Montreal Raiders are playing. Yeah, Papineau. That's
Okay,
part of my
that's
swag.
On Sunday?
There it is. No, Monday night. Monday night. I hope it'll be on field number 1, 2. Damn it.
Oh, that's not Mokos for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, use one quarterback, guys.
8 or 9 if you can.
We'll talk about all of you next week.
Well, there you go. Good times.
Quarterback depth. They may have that after the week 8
No,
game
but I
on
mean,
Monday.
it's a good time to try and look for someone else.
You're right. No,
You
you're
know,
right, Chad,
like,
man.
I mean,
You're right.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with doing that.
I mean,
but
36 points for in 7 games is not good.
well, it's not even a touchdown per average. It's
Yeah,
almost
it's-
like 5.5 per game.
Yeah, it's less than that.
What, they
so-
getting like 2 safeties or what's going on
Like
here?
the Toronto Argonauts last year.
Yeah, okay. We're dropping 500 yards on the
You
Ticats.
guys made the playoffs? Ooh, the Ticats, the worst team in the league. You guys beat. All right, it's fantastic.
Right now, with this race of teams, we said Hot Boys Holland are vulnerable, and they probably will get bounced in the first game of playoffs for them, wherever they might end up.
Pension plan as well.
No, I think they might go a little bit further. I think if they overcome the mental hump, they will go further than expected. But in that conference right now, are we set with what we have for playoff teams?
First 12. Yeah, I think there could be a bit of movement for the.
So forget playing the
12
last
to
3
11.
games then. Let's just get to the
See-
playoffs right now.
Yeah. No, you know what? Conference A, I said before, was set. Conference B, I think is too up in the air.
But here's one my idea comes into play, which I think it should have been employed for this spring. You rank them. You have your 12 teams that make it to the playoffs, and then you rank them 1 through 24.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you get the best on best playing each other in the finals. You get the true value.
Would you have the number 1 playing 24? And
whatever.
NCAA
The top 4 gets buys, right? Then you have 5, whatever the whole.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's bracket format. So if you're a 24 seed, you have to go through the 1, then maybe the 8, 9, whatever it is. So be it. And I think you get the true value of a team or teams making it to the finals. Because I right now, Brent, I think your Conference B side, those top 3 teams could all be balanced before we reach the semifinals.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not as strong as the other side. This is the thing though. Whereas we have Conference A with Los Avocados, Dirty Mike and the Boys, GHB, those teams aren't going anywhere. I think those teams will at least make the semifinals. Speaking to your point though, whereas you think that the top 4 teams at the very least, could be balanced earlier than the semifinals, I think you're right, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, you have a team, then let's say if the standings are, let's say they stay this way for the rest of the seasons, Smoking A is going to knock off one of the top teams. Part of my side will definitely knock off one of the top teams. And the Expendables, if they could get their act together and play a full game, they could do it too, as could Primetime.
Yeah.
So speaking to your point, I will agree with you on this, that we should do that
surprise.
with the ranking system. I know, surprise, you're actually right about something. The top 4 teams should get a bye.
Whatever the if it's 24 teams that make it, you find the proper number of teams that get the bye, and then you work it from there. And you bracket it. You put teams in brackets.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
You don't reseed. No reseeding. You go through
not at all.
What you have. Mm-hmm. So if you end up having the toughest road and you win all those games, you're deserving of your championship.
It's true.
I just think that you're going to see a real disparity in the playoffs with A and B for those conferences right there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Chapman, thoughts?
It may happen. It's a little unfortunate because it just means that the finals game will not really be the finals game. It'll be determined in the semifinals in Conference A.
Well, yeah, right now. But if you go through the Molcon
that's
theory,
what I'm saying. That's what will end up happening, right?
No, the Molcon playoff system, we have the true finals.
We eliminate that. Yeah, I agree.
We eliminate these, disparity Final Fours here, The 3 and 7. So-and-so taking on so-and-so.
What if the other team, like on the other side of the conference, is like 9-1, but it's just complete trash, and they'll end up like, you know what I mean? Because it'll be the one.
Well, that's how you rank it, though, right? If a team goes 9-1, you look at the value of win, the quality wins. It may be against the bottom half of their division or conference, and you say, okay, well, they're not a true 1. We're going to put them as number 6, number 7. However, there might be a team that's 7-3 that may have had the better wins and closer losses. They should be ranked higher.
It'd be nice in a perfect world.
So
you have to convince Rob Campana of this.
But you know what though? Like it's going to the other side though. Going to the other side, and this is Rob's argument: is you know what, your record is what your record is. You're going to prove whether you're a good team or not. Come the playoffs.
But we don't know. Like beginning of the year, we don't know these teams. Like some are returning carryovers from winter, but a quarter of these teams we don't know. And for all we know, look at TBA for example. No one knew they were going to be this good or this solid of a quarterback. If we did,
but that's the battle you face in FPF. I mean,
But if we did beforehand, and we knew this team was going to be a legit contender, we would have said, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we get them a tougher schedule."
They would have a tougher schedule, but then the flip side of that argument is, let's say they had a tougher schedule, they're not facing a bunch of pushovers the entire time. I mean, okay, they got smashed by GHB, but some of the other teams that they faced, like the Super Troopers, is a team that's been there for a while and at least kind of knows what they're doing. And it's not as if they're facing sorry guys, but they're not facing the Montreal Raiders every week. Whereas, they're not facing a bunch of horrible teams every week. They have TBA face some pretty decent teams.
I just think that this has to be looked at because I guarantee you, Brent, you're going to see everyone's like, oh my God, the 1 seed got bounced. Well, no, because they're not that great. You're going to see it. Again, you're going to see it, Brent. You're going to see it.
I hear you.
The guarantee.
And I feel you went down 1,000%. But okay, let's say, for example, if you want to go back to last winter, right? You had GHB who made the finals. They played the Goofy Goobers. The Goofy Goobers were a new team. They didn't have the toughest schedule in the regular season. I believe they finished 9-1. But when it came to the playoffs, they faced some pretty. Okay, maybe not the first round, but starting from the second round on, they played good teams, the Goofy Goobers, and some of those games went down to the wire. But they found a way to win because they were that good of a team. They got to the finals. They played GHB. They lost, but that game came down to the final play of the game, pretty much the final series.
It did, but I think the true value is having this prop, and I guarantee you it would create more discussion within the Div E ranks.
Oh, okay, it's gonna create discussion for sure, but
it gives
but-
teams incentive to say let's obviously we need to showcase our point of why we should be a 6 seed in the playoffs or a 1 seed, or why as a number 8 team or number 12 team to qualify in the playoffs we're higher than what our rank is. Let's improve on that. Let's have these impressive games out there. If we can win by 45 points, to tell the committee, hey, look, we won by 45. We're not really a true number 12. We're more of a number 8. Then by all means, go for it. I think it brings another level of intensity for the playoff races.
it could. I mean, it definitely could. But I mean, the big question I have is, will it necessarily create better games? 'Cause
I think it will.
At the end of the day,
100%.
that's what we want, right?
I would be more fascinated to see HBH take on. I'm just saying this argument's sake,
Yeah.
Expendables. 2 teams that never played each other in the regular season. If example being right, and we have 2 different styles of play. I don't want to see HBH against TBA if they play each other in the regular season. Oh, great! Looking forward to seeing you. Well, you know what? If those are the 2 best teams, I don't want to see them in the second round. I want to see them in the finals. And if they earn their way to the finals, then hey, we have our best teams.
See, okay, I hear you on that. But okay, if you look, for example, the NHL, the Stanley Cup playoffs, people were saying Penguins versus the Caps. That felt like it should be not a Stanley Cup final, obviously, but an Eastern Conference final. People were hating on the fact that it was going to be the Pens and the Sens. You know what? That went 7 games. That went to double overtime. That was a great series. Same thing, for example,
But
with
the difference is that we know these teams.
True.
In the lower divisions, we don't know these teams. Wait till winter season, Div 6, we're going to be like, okay, well, who's this team or who's this team here? And then we're going to say, well, we thought this team was good, but really they're not that great, and vice versa.
True, but I mean, I for example, I'm in Division C. I can say the same thing about Division C.
Oh,
I'm
you
in
guys be one and
Conference
done.
A.
Let's call for
hey,
it.
hey,
You guys
hey,
are one
hey,
and done.
hey, I'm in Conference A, my friend. We had a big game last night. We knocked off the
Barely.
backyard bullies. I don't care who was
Without
there
Vinny
or
Galano.
who. Yeah, I don't care who was there for them or who was not there for them. That's great. I was banged up, but most of our team is banged up. But you know what? The fact is, in Conference A with us, with the backyard bullies, I think we're in a much stronger division than Conference in Conference B, who you have the Royals, the Bearskins, maybe.
But that's why you
that's
got
pretty much about
a
it.
bigger number of sample size. You got to reseed it. I really believe you have to reseed it, and I think it'll bring more intrigue to the playoffs, more
It
excitement.
could. It definitely could. But again, it's you think it brings more excitement. And I agree with you. There's a chance that it could. There's a chance that it could. But again, my argument is the fact that, you know what, whether you're a good team or a team who is average but is walking around with an inflated record because of who you face, when push comes to shove, when you come to the playoffs, when it's do or die, that's when you're going to find out who the really good teams are either way.
And the MoCon playoff system will be in play for next April 2018. Let's put it that way.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
What did you learn? Anything else we need to divulge here? Nothing? We're good?
I'm good.
We covered the grounds? Because, again, we had no internet access
Yeah,
here.
it's still not working. I've been refreshing
Still
this whole
not-
time.
I've been
so-
going like 200 refreshes here, and it's same thing.
Sorry, guys.
Database error.
I think, okay, just looking forward to next week. I don't know if you guys want to
Yes.
jump into this next week's games.
You got the list, Brent. It's all you.
You
You
got
got
it. We got to zip through this.
Here it is right here. No, I think some big games, some statement games coming up is going to be Spartans, Homo Sapiens, the aforementioned Hot Boys Hotline, pardon me, taking on Moss City, 2 really good defensive teams. TBA and the Smoking A's. That's going to be, I think, I'll give you a little preview of my article right now. I think that will be the game of the week.
Game of the week.
Aha! There you go, exactly.
Well, gee, no point in reading the article now since it's the game of the week.
You guys
I have multiple games of the week. I think that'll be the
I'm
number
just
one.
saying. You just gave it away. Why would I read the article now?
Listen, my friend.
People who watch the podcast don't read.
That's
PZ.
not true at all.
PZ.
I don't read.
Just because you can't read well doesn't mean other
I-
people can't read well.
You know
Easy.
what? You know what?
Okay,
You
you know what it is though. Honestly, again, these are gonna be some really good games next week. I think it's gonna separate, or it's gonna have it's gonna show a bit of clarity in terms of who are the contenders, who are the pretenders, and I believe actually the article that I promised will be my second rankings of the season. I may have to do it next week. We'll see. All right, this might wait actually to after.
There's 3
week
weeks left in the
16.
season, right?
Yeah, don't worry. I said there'll be a second article of my contenders and pretenders and the rest. And I said it would be either week 8 or week 9. So and that's what I'm
See, that's
hyping up right now.
that's a tease right there.
And
That's
that's
a
what
tease.
it is, my friend. That's exactly
Tease
what
right
it
there.
is. Journalism 101 coming at you. Again,
Okay.
big games next week.
Thank you. Riveting stuff.
There you go.
All right.
Let's get peas back.
Yeah, don't worry. PC's back next week. If his paper cut's going to heal up in time, use some polysporin. Finally, what did you learn in today's episode?
You guys have surprisingly great chemistry. You just keep arguing. It's like
I'm the
an
Shawn
old
Michaels.
married
He's the
couple.
Mike
It's
Jannetty.
awesome.
Rick Martel,
Please.
Tito Santana.
I'm the Hart Foundation to his well done.
The Owen Hart to my Bret Hart.
The Owen Hart is Coco Beware.
Oh,
Yes, I said it.
Please. Bo
That's right,
Beverly
my
to
friend.
Big Beverly over here, my friend. That's what I am. Hogan to George the Animal Steel.
Oh,
All right.
Okay, simmer down. NWO to the LWO.
Oh, please. Virgil to my DiBiase. As I said before,
Bret Hart to the Anvil.
everyone's got a price, my friend.
That's not Mo's money, and Mo's not throwing that anywhere.
House
So
money.
Mo
It's
needs to stop
company
fronting.
money,
Mo
but-
needs to stop fronting. You know what? Mo's pulling
I'm
out
like
Mo's pulling out the cash right now because again he feels bad because his Chicago Bulls traded Jimmy Butler
I'm
for
like a
25
financial
cents
advisor.
on the dollar.
I'm like a financial advisor. What did you learn in today's episode?
I believe he was addressing you, Brent, not me this time.
I was
You like
just
the
about
Horace
to
Hogan
answer.
to my Hulk Hogan.
Okay, simmer down there, simmer down. I learned that Mo's anger doesn't just transcend basketball. It goes all over the place. It goes from FPF to cheering on horrible Major League Baseball teams, the Florida Marlins, Oakland
Miami
A's.
Marlins.
Whatever.
M-I-A-M-I. Miami.
In baseball, the Raiders. You know, the Raiders had a good season, but they were one and done in the playoffs last time I checked. It's tough being Mo Khan, I think is what it is. It's just tough being Mo. He talks a lot of trash, but he just doesn't back it up. But it's all right. I still love Mo. It's like a brother to me. I
My
still
Paul
love Mo.
Roma
It's
to
all right.
Jim Powers over here.
Oh, okay. Simmer down. You're like I'm Ric Flair. You're Barry Windham. That's what we're going with right here?
Oh, please. Please. Arn Anderson to Tully Blanchard.
Hey, Tully Blanchard was mad, my friend. Tully
Yeah,
Blanchard with
okay.
that soft
Sure.
porn video there back in the day with the Diamond
Sure.
Doll. That was classic, my friend.
Sure.
That was classic.
Sure.
Classic
That's-
indeed, my friend.
Too Cold Scorpio to Sting. Good night, New York Knicks.